Hi, I'm Nicole, and this is Mindful Prairie Living. This channel is about budgeting as a Canadian family, trying to live a non toxic and simpler life. I'm currently on maternity leave with my 7-week-old baby. I'll give you an honest take about first time motherhood while living intentionally on a budget, as well as building a non toxic or at least a less toxic home environment for my family here in the prairies. So let's dive in. Listen, I'm not an expert, not in nutrition, not in toxicology. I'm here yapping as a first-time mom who got a little obsessed at reading labels while raising my newborn. I went into a rabbit hole into whatever information I can get. Well, you can thank my clinical background for this. And I wanted to share what I'm learning along the way. I will not tell you what to do. I'm here to start a conversation and perhaps guide you in your own research. If you're a mother figuring it out like me, or a Canadian resident overwhelmed with all the products out there, if you're generally interested in starting your slow and mindful living, then I am here learning with you, and we're in this together. So let's get started. You can see my pup here. His name is Chabby, and he's been on a night shift with me, so he's probably really tired. Anyway, I digress. We are gonna be talking about common items that we use in our house that's been affordable or fall under the category of being a Canadian brand. If you're a mom, I think one of the things that we typically do, or at least maybe it's just me, is I do a lot of cleaning in the house in between if I get to it. A lot of these would be cleaning items, and part of it too is a coffee machine and some beans to go with it. I find that even prior to having our child, I learned how much buying coffee outside can accumulate over time. So my husband and I have done a lot of research into what would be the most efficient coffee machine for us. I'm not a Breville girly. I mean, I used to try having an espresso machine before, but I don't necessarily have the time. So we were able to find what they call a super automatic espresso machine. We really love it because it's a one button press and you already get your coffee in it. So yeah, also it's important to talk about our location at the time of this recording. I live in Alberta. When I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos, just because I have the time with my baby who nurses and sleeps all day, I'm finding that a lot of the Canadian content are mostly from people living in Vancouver and Toronto, where yes, in all of Canada, cost of living is high, but especially more for Toronto or Vancouver. It's nice to have a perspective from somebody living in Alberta, particularly just outside of Edmonton, and see what the prices look like here or what kind of products are available. I hope that can give you a vantage point of how things are here. First, we will start with the all-purpose and glass cleaners. I have these spray bottles. I actually got these from Sage. I really like the smells from Sage. However, I do find that the refills are priced at $15. I typically get the refills on a sale day if I can. Lately, I have been using, on your left, it's called the Brainwash glass and all-purpose refill. I also use TANIT, which is a brand from Montreal. Both Brainwash and the TANIT refills cost pretty much under $5. The TANIT one is $2.99 before tax, and I believe Brainwash is about $3.90. TANIT is a little bit trickier to find. I found it in my local food store, but you can find it on Well.ca, or you can also order online to. For our floors, I've been loving this mint cleaning wash. I purchased it last year around the summertime, and it's barely a third of the bottle that I've used. It might be a little expensive for the initial price point, but it's gonna last us over probably a year or more. The next one is our dish soap. This is from Nature Clean, which is based in Ontario. I am picky because I've used a lot over the years and some of them don't really clean that well. Prior to switching Canadian, I was using Dawn, which is pretty much, I want to say, the gold standard for cleaning. But since I moved to Nature Clean, like the other brands that we have talked about, they don't have the forever chemicals. I have a tiny bottle so that I am not using a lot all at once. I know that there's research saying that if you are buying bigger products, you tend to use more of it. Is one way of being mindful of how we're using our dish soap. Last cleaning item would be our toilet bowl strips. This is again from Nature Clean. I've been loving the strips because we're trying to minimize our plastic packaging, and I know I still have the dish soap bottle, but these are some of the things that I'm learning. You know, the more that you read into it, the more that you think about what kind of plastics are around you. And I'm always a firm believer that when you know better, you do better. Most importantly, we have our DeLonghi Rivelia. I don't know if it's Rivelia or Rivelia, either one of those, but it's a super automatic machine, which means you press one button and it does the coffee for you. It can make just regular coffee, lattes, hot or cold. I'm really loving the flat white right now. What I really like about this coffee machine is I have a profile for myself and my husband has his as well. So it remembers how we want our coffees made. It has a milk frother as well. This is why we can do some lattes and flat white here. At the top, there's the hopper that you can take off. So we have one for regular coffee, one for decaf. This has been a game changer for us. I just look back to when I was still working and I would go by Tim Hortons or Starbucks every single day for work just because I'm not a morning person. It's astounding how expensive coffee is these days. So regular coffee, probably $3. A latte, which is what I usually gravitate towards, is about $6 or $7. Whereas we purchased this during Black Friday, it was $1,400 and the original is $1,700 before tax. For beans, we love the Kicking Horse Three Sisters coffee, and at Costco for 1 kilogram it's about $36. I just saw recently that they're on sale for about $26, so at $10 less. I would say we use 1 pack a month. I also got this Level Ground coffee and it says that it's from Victoria, BC. I haven't tried it myself, but my sister has told me that they do make really good coffee beans. So that's going to be my next experiment, is to try and see if it'll match up to our Kicking Horse coffee. So when you think about it, $36 times 12, coming at about like $400, even $500 per year on coffee. You do have that 100 initial for this coffee machine that still is cheaper than having your latte from Starbucks. We calculated the math. For myself and for my husband, we each spend over $2,000 per year, essentially, for just coffee. So that's something to consider when you would like to be more conscious of your budget. Okay, I hope you got something out of that. We're nearing the end of the month. I can't believe that. I feel like the days are just melding together being on mat leave, but I am also getting ready for my end of the month grocery. That is going to be our next video. So if you want to follow along, please hit like and subscribe. By the way, the links for the products that I talked about are in the description below. Can't wait to yap with you again soon.